everyone. Welcome to another episode of Afro Scientific Spirituality. My name is Ife West. If this is your first time on this channel, you're highly welcome. This is the place where we separate the facts from the fiction, the science from the superstitions, and the concept from the misconceptions about African spirituality. Today, I am going to be answering a question from one of my students once again. And the question is about holding political leaders in Africa accountable by making them to swear an oath to an African deity. So this is a very interesting topic once again, and I think that we should hear it out and see my opinions on this topic. So this is the question. Let's hear it.
Hello, your student here. So I just remembered, I don't know if it was you, but I heard somebody saying that, our leaders tend to swear on the Bible and the Quran after they are voted into powers or whatnot. But what if we were to go back to our practices and they were to swear on our deities or our divinities? Will that law of the video you made last time still apply, of the people have given them the power? Because I think even in court, reading the book that you have referred to me, I've seen the goddess of I forgot the name, the goddess of justice and whatnot. So it means that even if we were to swear on that divinity or that deity in court, or when you're giving a position of power and you have to swear and pledge your honesty, loyalty, and your servitude to the population, would that rule still apply? Because that means that if you swear on those deities, you'll be held accountable immediately, and that would probably be regardless of the fact that people have given you the power, right?
This very issue that you have stated here is something that is very crucial, and it has been discussed in the past so many times in Nigeria and other African countries as well. And we have discovered that a lot of political leaders, governors, senators, presidents, they don't care about the people that they are supposed to be governing. They don't just care about the people. They go there and they apply this rule of the jungle, and they try to amass as much wealth as possible for themselves, and kill a lot of people, put people in bondage and poverty, and just embezzle the public funds with impunity. So many people, many traditionalists have been saying that to solve this problem is that we have to make these people swear to an oath to a deity, that we enforce this oath to make sure that if the political leader misbehaved or did not do as they promised, the deity is going to come after them. So this is something that a lot of people have written academic papers on. If you check the internet on oath swearing to solve the problem or curb or reduce the problem of corruption in Africa, there have been hundreds of academic papers on this in Nigeria alone. You're going to see a lot of people have written this research topic. They have submitted these proposals to many government houses, to many courts. Many people have said many things about it, many spiritualists and many traditional rulers. This is something that is popularly discussed in Africa. But we see that there are many loopholes to this. I will take example of Nigeria. In Nigeria, for instance, we have three major type of law. We have the so-called English law, we have common law, we have customary law, and now some people are introducing Sharia law, but that is for northern states. In the provision of Nigeria, we have room for oath taking by swearing oath to a deity, any African deity of your choice. This is the reason for that not everybody accept the religion of Christianity or Islam. So there is provision for swearing oaths in the name of an African deity. That's why when you see people go to court in Nigeria, they will first ask you, are you a Christian, Muslim, or a pagan? Most people will claim they are Christians or Muslims, When you say you are a Christian, they will bring the Bible. If you say you are a Muslim, they will bring the Quran. If you say you are a pagan, you practice African traditional religion, they are going to bring a piece of native chalk or iron, depending on the court and the jurisdiction of that customary court. They have something they use to represent the customary oath swearing. So most times what you will see is native chalk. Then the person will say, I swear with this piece of native chalk in the name of Ogun, in the name of this deity, that I am here to tell you the whole truth, that the evidence I shall give in this case before this court is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, Ogun. Then the person will swear this oath. Then before the person will start giving their testimony in the court. So we have provision for this. But the problem is that can it be enforced? How can it be enforced? The issue is that Nigeria allows for freedom of religion. So you see people practicing different type of religious system. There's that freedom for religion in many African countries. So anybody can come to the court, and if the person says he's a Christian, you cannot force them to swear by traditional oaths. It is not done like that. So the person can only be made to swear to an oath when he agrees to that oath as something that he believes in to be binding. So you see a lot of people use this loophole to escape this kind of oath swearing situations. We have seen cases whereby some issues are happening, or maybe some people want to sign a contract. Then we go to a deity, or somebody will say, before you sign this contract with me, let's go to swear to my deity, or before you do this business with me. So the other party have a right to back and say, no, I am a Christian, I cannot swear to your deity, I can only sign this paper, but anything I have to do with swearing, I will not do that. So we have cases like this in Nigeria. We have seen cases whereby people have been made to go to shrine to swear an oath before they were given some funds. Maybe they want to borrow money. We have some of these money lenders in Nigeria. Before they give you money to do business, they will make sure that you swear an oath to their shrine or to their deity that you must pay back that money. I have seen that cases. I have seen cases whereby people have been made to swear oath. Maybe they want to travel abroad. The person will say, before you go abroad, before I give you this money, you must swear an oath that you will pay me back this money, that not when you go there, you will run, you will not come back again. But there's also a bad side to it. People are being forced into swearing oaths against their will, against their wishes. We see this in many situations, especially in areas of human trafficking. These young girls are made to swear oaths to mostly a dreaded deity that if they do not pay back their madan or their trafficker, they are going to die, or this and that will happen to them. So a lot of evil people, they use this oath swearing for evil purposes. We see this a lot in human trafficking, especially cases from Benin, from southern Nigeria. They force people into swearing oaths. We see these cases of people doing bad business, like maybe they are drug traffickers. They force people to swear oaths that if they catch you, you are not going to talk, you are not going to call anybody's name. If you call somebody's name, you are going to die. They use this kind of oath swearing process to do evil practices. We also see this as well in secret societies, whereby the members will be forced to swear an oath that they are not going to say any secrets, anything that they do is between them. They are not going to say it out to the public. We see this kind of oath taking. The negative side, the positive side. The positive side is that oath taking can actually be used to bring a binding, fruitful agreements to people. In the cases of corrupt politicians in Nigeria, many times this issue have been bringing up. You see, what you will notice that many of them always back out of it by saying that they are Christians. In taking their oath of office, they always claim to be Muslim or Christian. None of them claim to be traditional practitioners. So the issue is that how do we enforce this oath taking to our traditional deities? The only people that can enforce this oath taking is our traditional rulers and kings in Africa, because these people are the custodians of our tradition and spirituality. But the problem is that, guess what? Many of them are Christians as well. So how can they enforce this? And many of them are also corrupt people. So you see in Nigeria, you go to a king's palace, you're going to see a very big picture of Jesus Christ by the side of the king, a so-called king. Some cases you are going to see rosary. Then the next thing you see is a giant size statue of Jesus Christ or crucifixion in his palace. And this person is supposed to be a traditional ruler. This person is supposed to be the spiritual leader of his whole community. But yeah, this person is telling you that he's a Christian. This is the problem we have in Nigeria today. The people that are supposed to be enforcing these traditional spiritual laws and oaths, they are not doing it. They are not doing it. If you are familiar with Nigeria, you will notice that a lot of kings don't even know their history. They don't even know African history. They don't even know spells. Most of the things I do on this channel, a lot of Nigerian kings don't even know anything about it. And guess what? They don't want to know. Many of them think that to be a king is just to sit down and allow people to bring things to you, to your palace. Many of them don't even step out of their palace. If they step out, they are in a convoy of cars. They don't see their people. They don't even know the length and breadth of their community. This is the problem we have. You will see somebody that say is a king in a community in Nigeria. All the roads in your community are bad. All the roads are full of potholes. And you call yourself a king. This is very painful. I'll give example of my state, so that I will not look like I come to the YouTube to be bashing other people's kings in Nigeria. My own state, Delta State, Urobo. Urobo people, with all due respect, our Urobo kings, they are not trying. They are not trying in this regard. You will see, and this is not only for them, a lot of many kings in Nigeria, they are like this. You will see situation where I cannot be a king, whereby I will say I'm a king, then 90% of all the roads in my community are bad, are full of potholes. People cannot drive their cars properly, and I call myself a king. And in that very community, there are a lot of companies, oil companies, a lot of businesses are there under my domain. I cannot be able to talk to them to tell them this is what I want. The local government chairman is supposed to be under my command. He's supposed to be like a child to me or like a boy to me, but I cannot speak to him to tell him that this is what you need to do for the community. You call yourself a king, there is no power supply in your community. Even clean drinking water is not working in your community, not clean drinking water in your community. The schools in your community, government schools, they are dilapidated. Many of them have been unpainted they were only painted since the day they were built. The children in the schools don't even have chairs to sit down. And you call yourself a king in your community. People are suffering in your community. You are not even thinking of their welfare. You just sit down on your throne and expect people to come to be bowing down to you. This is what you're going to see. And this king have totally destroyed all their traditional practices. They will tell you now they are not Christians. Anything where they say we have to do traditional ceremony, they don't go. If they were forced to go, they will send somebody to represent them. They never do anything spiritual. They never do anything to safeguard the tradition and the customs of their people. We have so many kings like this in Nigeria today. So how can we be able to enforce this oath swearing where the king himself refused to even swear an oath to the deity of the community that is going to be a good ruler? We have many cases like this where many kings will tell you that they are Christians. It is very, very painful. If you want to be a Christian as a king, you cannot serve God and Mammoth. You cannot be a king and at the same time be a pastor. You should drop your throne and go and open a church and put somebody there that will do the traditional work. But instead they will refuse. So a lot of kings in Nigeria, they are the ones sabotaging African tradition and spirituality. Let me give an example. In my own village from Delta State, a village in the Ogele South, my village have not had lights in that community for more than 10 years. There's no power supply. The only house that have power supply is the house of the king. Can you imagine? It's the house of the king. So, how do you expect somebody like me to respect somebody like that? Nobody have light in your community, but you are very, very comfortable. You are sleeping very well, and your people are suffering. This person is also a Christian. This person does not do anything traditional. This person is totally against anything spiritual. Even that person, things like me, the things I say on this channel, this person is against them. Probably if he knows that I have this channel, he will call me a devil worshipper for talking about African spirituality. These are the mentality of the people that we have in Africa today that are calling themselves kings. They are only kings in dressing up, in receiving gifts from people. When you want to see a king today in Nigeria, it's very difficult. You have to go through protocols. You will book time. You are going to buy expensive drinks. You're going to buy gift items. They are going to check all these things. That you're going to bring money for supporting Kola. To see a king is a very big deal. This is what they just sit and waiting for people to come to give them things. They don't know the responsibility or their roles as traditional rulers in this life. They don't know this. A lot of kings are like this today. It's very sad. Many of them are boys to politicians. When a big politician is coming, you see them running around, go and be standing under the sun or waiting at the airports for a politician to come. Many of them are, you will never see them in their palace. You see them at government house or in Abuja looking for contracts. A whole king. You cannot even send people there. They are the ones that have to go there by themselves. We have many kings that have lost their way in Nigeria today. So this your law of getting people to swear oaths. It's only these people that can do it that the politicians will listen to. If you are a king that knows your value as a king, when people come to you, you're supposed to be impartial. Now we see kings, especially in Delta State, that are campaigning for political office holders. You see kings that are claiming to be, I mean, PDP and the APC. They're full Nigeria. You go tire. As a king, you are supposed to be impartial. When your subjects are clamoring for position, you are not supposed to take sides. Let the best person win. You bless everybody. But you see kings that will tell you that my political party is PDP. My political party is APC. When a king have already declared like this, just know that that king is not fair anymore. But many kings are politicians in Nigeria. They are also boys and messenger boys to politicians. This is not how it's supposed to be. So the people you are supposed to be controlling are not the ones controlling you. Because of what? Money. Because you don't know yourself. Quite naturally, a king as a traditional ruler of a people is supposed to be more powerful than even a politician, because a king will be there for his lifetime, but the politician will only be there for 4 years, at least 8 years. A king should be able to tell the politician, look, this is what I want for you in this community. If you are not going to do this, I can be able to make things difficult for you. I can be able to say, okay, this projects or whatever you want to do that is you are not doing it. I can be able to say you are not doing the right thing. I can take this case further. I can report you. I can be able to affect your government in a way that will make you wake up. I can bring attention to this matter just by even talking on the news. Saying this issue on the news will bring negative attention to you if you don't do what you are supposed to do. I can report you to the president. This can happen to you that you are not fulfilling your functions. But we don't see this happening. Rather, we see politicians or we see the kings bowing down to politicians. And many times the politicians abuse the kings a lot. We see this happening. It's very, very painful. Most of our kings, we don't respect them. Me, to be honest with you, I don't respect many kings in Nigeria because I see them like caricatures. I see them like things that are enemies of progress. This is where I see most of our elders in Africa, because these are people that they have lost their way. out of greed and selfishness. So they have been able to cause so much suffering and hardship to their own communities. That's why so many people are suffering. We have seen cases whereby a multinational company, we go to a king, we go to a community, and we offer to create jobs for the people, or to build a school, or to even build roads, or to even give power to attach a community to their own power generation plan so that the community will have lights. I've seen this in several cases, but you will see the king and his elders coming to say, no, we don't want the lights, we don't want the electricity, we don't want the development, give us the money. I have seen cases like this where the multinational company will offer to bring development to the people. The king will reject the development and will ask for cash. I have seen this many cases. I don't want to call the names of those kings on this channel, but we know them, especially in Delta State. They will tell the company, no, we don't want this road. Give us the money, we will do the road by ourselves. Give us the money, we will build the school. The company will give them the money. They will share that money. They will not build any school for their own people. Then their people will be suffering. Then they will not use police and soldiers to be intimidating, and thugs to be intimidating their own people. There have been a case whereby a king was killed in Delta State. This king had been taking money from Shell, a multinational company, and the youths don't have jobs. They were hungry. They keep going to Shell. The Shell were not telling them anything. When they get angry at Shell, Shell told them that we have been giving money to your kings. All the job slot, your kings have been taking everything. The boys were shocked. They went to their king. Is it true? King said yes. They killed the king, dragged his body all over the road. They burnt down the palace. It was a very serious case. We have seen many greedy kings like this. You cannot call yourself a king, then there's no good road in your community, and you are proud of that. There's no good water in your community. People cannot drink water. Power failure is a major problem. You're only the one enjoying lights. Your youths don't have jobs. Instead of you giving them jobs, you will be selling the slots of the jobs to foreigners. So how can these people hold politicians accountable when they themselves are the bastion of corruption? How can these people hold political leaders accountable? This is the reason why we are talking about this issue on this channel. It is only we, the next generation, the new generation of Nigerians and Africans, that can be able to change all these things. We can change things by doing things differently from our elders. It is obvious that a lot of elders, old people in our parents' generation, they have failed us. They have failed us politically. They have failed us spiritually. They have failed us academically. In every ramification, people, they have failed us. So this is not people we want to emulate. This is not people we want to, we can be able to do anything with. So what we need to do to alter this, you see Nigeria now, you go to Abuja, they have a national church, they have a national mosque, but you never see any national traditional shrine. We need to have a national shrine that is dedicated to African tradition, customs, and spirituality. We need to have something like that. That is the only way we can be able to move forward with this. We need to change our curriculum to put in the study of African tradition and spirituality and history into our educational curriculum. You cannot find the study of African tradition and spirituality in any curriculum in Nigeria. What you're going to know about is customary law. It didn't really go deep. So we as the younger generations, we are the ones that will change things. Okay, it will become our time very soon. We need to start making laws that we favor African traditional studies and spirituality and research and development. We need to do all these things. Then our traditional rulers, many of them are corrupt people. As far as they are going to be corrupt, we need to find a way to also do something about them. There have been a proposal due to the fact that there's one Yoruba king that is always coming back to abuse his throne. He's from one of these states, either Ogun State or your state. Anytime he comes out in the public, he's like a pastor. He always insult Africans' tradition and spirituality. He always tells his people to go to church. So some of the people in the state have now tell him that he should resign the throne so that somebody else can take his position. They need to make laws in Nigeria that we make it mandatory that as a traditional ruler, you need to focus on your duty of being a custodian of a tradition. They need to make laws in Nigeria and also in Africa that will specify that every traditional ruler or king must be a custodian and an advocate of the promotion of African tradition and spirituality and culture. What we see now in Nigeria is that we have seen so many kings that are doubling as pastors. Instead of them to be promoting African culture, tradition, and spirituality, they are preaching against it, they are changing it, they are trying to destroy it. So these people don't know their office. If you want to be a pastor, leave your throne and go and open a church. You cannot be doubling as a pastor and as a king. That is it's an oxymoron. You cannot be benefiting from kingship, then the thing that gave you that kingship, you are working against it. The beliefs and the custom and the tradition of those people, it's what made you a king. So it's either you accept it completely or you reject it totally. We cannot see kings that is doing a fasting, morning devotion, and doing church service in his palace, praying in the name of Jesus, doing oracle in the name of Jesus. I don't understand it. But we see so many kings and elders doing this rubbish. I have seen it many times. I go to meet these people at their office. After they have said their ancestors' prayer for you, they will end it in Jesus' name. You cannot call yourself an elder, a spiritual custodian of your people, but you don't know your work. After you do your ancestors' blessing, you will end it in Jesus' name. You are just insulting your ancestors that Jesus is older or more powerful than your ancestors. Kings do this. A lot of them do this rubbish. These are the people we see. So the law needs to specify that as a king, it's either you are promoting your culture, your tradition as authentically as it's supposed to be, or you are outside that throne. If you don't want to pray in the name of your ancestors, you don't want to venerate the gods of your people, leave the throne for somebody that will do it. Many of them don't know their job. These are the people that are supposed to enforce this oath for these politicians. But you see them. So how can we go forward? This is a question I will leave for you. This is a question we all need to ask ourselves that's watching this video. They say things fall apart, the center cannot hold. So there's anarchy everywhere. You come to African spirituality, there is problem. You run to church, the bigger problem. You run to government, another problem. There is fire on the mountain everywhere. How are we going to solve this problem? But we'll solve it one stone at a time. So I believe by talking about the issue, we are throwing more light and bringing awareness into the issue. So it will be better in the future. We as people, we have a lot of work to do, especially in this my generation. We have a lot of work to do. We have to correct many things that have gone wrong. We need to be talking about these things publicly. We need to be shouting it out for these stupid kings. We need to be calling them out. We need to be insulting them. If you don't talk, they're not going to get sense. If you continue petting them and bowing down to them, they're not going to know saying that the wrong thing that they do. If we not insult them, they're not going to get sense. So we get work to do, and the work is not easy. Most times, they will send people to come and beat you up. When there is problem in the community, you are the first that we point to police that this is the person that is giving them problem. But we need to speak out against them. Waiting many of them they do the wrong thing. We need to tell them, come, you be traditionalist or you be pastor. We need to correct them because they don't get sense. So, and the truth be this, many of our king they be mumu. They don't get sense. So many of them are woman rapper. And the truth that they tell you, so they be woman rapper, they don't get heart at all. So many communities in Delta State, now the youths, they hold them. And the youths now be the power of the community. If the youths change out for them, many of them do not get level. And the truth that they tell you, so we need to correct them. If you stay with elder where they do this nonsense, greet them politely, correct them politely, tell her your mind. We need to correct them one by one. Call them aside, say you want to talk to her, say, because that's the way you do. It not make sense to not be waiting that they do with this. we need to dey correct them small small, make dem dey get sense. So we get work to do, okay, because I don see this thing many times, and I will continue to talk. We need to talk. Silence is consent, so that they go know their role as elders. Charity begins at home. We start for our family level, we go further in life. So now the matter now be this, now the responsibility. Now we now go change that for them. Now we go bring this awareness come. So this now my own this is my own opinion on this issue. So I would like to know your opinion as well. We'll find a way to make Africa a better place, little by little. So with that being said, I thank you very much once again for the question. More questions are welcome. Like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, share the channel so that a lot of people will know about this channel. You can post it in your groups, post it in your traditional settings, post it anywhere. We need to wake up. We are the only ones that we help ourselves, forget our elders. Now we go to teach ourselves our history, our spirituality. Now we go remove ourselves forward as a youth of this modern day Africa. Okay. So for those people that are interested in learning about African spirituality, my website is still there, kindoki.net. If you want to read my book, you can order it from me. If you want to do spell work, spirit work, you can also contact me as well. With that being said, I wish you a very wonderful day, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. So take care and bye. Peace.